Hello guys, I am Plated and we are back for the newest edition of Guild Wars Lore videos. This is going to be the relaunch of the Guild Wars Lore series. It's been almost a year since the last Guild Wars Lore video. The last one was in January, so not quite a year, but it's getting there slowly but surely. So let's start the new series of Guild Wars Lore. Let's make them bigger and better than ever before, and let's get this party started. The first lore series of the second part of the year is going to be the Largos. This has been suggested by two people on the last video after I asked you guys for suggestions. So we're going to be doing it on the Largos today, and I hope you enjoy the lore videos and stay tuned for more. So when I saw the Largos as a suggestion, I thought that sounded like a great idea for a lore video because, let's face it, there's not much known about the lore. And then I realized, oh crap, there's not much known about the lore of the Largos. So I really had to do a lot of research to try and find out as much as possible about them because honestly there isn't a lot to find. But what I did find was kind of interesting, and a lot of it might be theory crafting and a lot of it might be unconfirmed. But I did find a bit on the Largos and a bit on their history, so hopefully we can stick some pieces together here and there, make a little bit of a lore video for them and see what you guys think. And now as always, if you find anything out about the Largos that I haven't mentioned, put it in the comments below and get involved. So let's start off by simply looking at their physiology. They're very humanoid looking, apart from the fact they have giant wings that come out of their necks. But as some of you might not know, these aren't in fact wings for flying, they're actually for underwater. Think of them more like the fins of a manta ray rather than the wings of a butterfly. The fact that they are attached to the back of the neck suggests that they don't actually use them for flying, and they are solely really used for underwater propulsion. As you may have noticed also, they seem to be always wearing masks. Now this, I'm assuming, isn't a Bane mask, it's actually an aqua mask, but in reverse for them to breathe. One could assume that they must have gills, so they do require water to breathe above land, as you never see any of them without their masks on. They also have this eerie ability to stealth at will, it seems. If you've ever seen them during the storyline, you've actually noticed they do this little spin move and they completely vanish, and it's quite well known that the Largos are able to stealth and be unseen, which is eerily similar to how the Seers work and the Mursat, how the Mursat just vanished off of the whole entire face of Tyria, and now these Largos have just appeared. And there's been a little bit of theory crafting trying to connect some dots between the Largos and the Mursat, the Largos and the Seers, because these other two races have disappeared from Guild Wars 1, and now this new race who seem to have the ability to stealth and shift and disappear completely, just as these other races had the ability to as well. So now the Largos come from the north of Tyria and also the south, so they're actually from the North Arctic seas and also from the Unending Sea, far down the south where the underwater dragon Bubbles is now located, and also very closely affiliated in some ways with the Quaggan. Seeing how the Quaggan are also from the north and the south, so are the Largos, and it actually appears that the Quaggan do know a little bit about the Largos. They sometimes actually direct you to the Largos for information. Now where exactly the Largos home kind of city is actually quite unknown, because they're a very private race. They don't really tell you anything about where they come from or who they are. They prefer to stay a bit mysterious. You kind of could say they're like the silent warrior type. They don't really want to tell you where they're from, and most of them are in fact assassins, so you could relate them to kind of Japanese warriors. Very honorable, very respectful, but they also kind of look down on you and feel as if they're above you until like you gain their respect and trust, which you kind of do see as you fight alongside them in some of the missions in the storyline. Once you show that you are a good combatant, they actually, start to side with you and say, you're a warrior, and they don't see you as prey and more of an equal. And that's actually a quote. They say they don't view you as prey so much, so I thought that's quite funny really. Now as for the culture, from what we see, the Largos are very much assassin orientated, and it seems they're really built for killing. All the Largos you meet are very highly trained in combat and very secretive about their ways of life. But what we do know from a few bits of dialogue is that there are great houses inside the Largos society, and these are called the Tathos houses. And in fact Tathos is a Latin spelling of an ocean goddess, so it could be that the Tathos houses are some kind of representation of a god that they have, which we just don't know about at the moment. And all of these houses are bonded by a concordat, which is usually a treaty between state and religion. So it's possible actually within the society of the Largos that there's been infighting between government leadership and the religious side of their beliefs. There's also a group of Largos in the Shadowed Scion. So at the moment we have kind of two different groups of Largos, the Tathos houses and the Shadowed Scion. So we're not really sure what these are, but some people are theory crafting that Shadowed Scion is some kind of religious order, whereas the Tathos houses are more assassin combat orientated. And there has been like a little bit of infighting between these houses, but really we do not know any extent into that kind of detail at all. But let's move on to some things that we do know. We do know that they've had some interaction with the underwater dragon, and that's why quite a few of the Largos now have moved over towards Tyria along with the Quaggan, because they have been fighting the underwater dragon, and quite a few of them have been kicked out of where they've been living, and now they come more towards Tyria. And it is possible that they're searching for someone to help them fight the underwater dragon, because as we all know, bubbles be crazy. So now they've arrived on Tyria, this brand new race. Everyone's a bit scared of them because they seem to be a very formidable fighter, and they're kind of just like hanging around Tyria, not really like getting involved with anyone, just doing their own thing, more really just observing you, the player, as you go through this kind of living world story. So it's very possible that in a later expansion they could either become a playable race for the underwater dragon, or they could become a very major ally towards you, where they recruit you into fighting the underwater dragon after seeing all your great achievements, such as defeating Zaitan, let's say. Now I've said a whole bunch about them being related to the underwater dragon, but as I mentioned earlier, they've also come down from the North Arctic seas, so it's also very possible they're going to have some relation into helping us defeat Jormag alongside the Norn. We just can't really tell yet, there's not enough information out there about them. So it's possible that they could be related to two different dragons at the moment and helping us defeat either of these dragons. But we can only really wait and see until more lore has been released about the Largos and see what happens in later expansions. This was really all the information I could find about the Largos guys, but if you have anything else you want to add to the lore and history of these guys, please put it in the comments below. I trawled through a bunch of threads today trying to find as much as I could, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you learned a little bit more about the Largos. But if you have any suggestions for new lore videos that you want to see, leave it in the comments below and I'll pick one of your comments and that'll be the next up and coming lore video. I just want to thank you all guys for watching and thank you for sticking around this long to see the new series come out. And I'm really looking forward to making new lore videos in the future, and I hope you're going to stick around with me to see the journey. But until next time, I've been Plated and you've been my viewers, and I'll see you next time.